Today we got another one live from the field, a breach that we encountered in real time. We're going to talk about how a user's Gmail account was compromised using their recovery phone number.
Welcome to Tech Topics brought to you by Cybervenger. We help keep small businesses stay protected and compliant with cutting-edge cybersecurity and IT solutions.
Okay, so just like we said, the users was breached on their Google account by using their recovery phone. So they didn't lose their phone was still working. So what happened? Well, it started off where they were trying to use their email account, and they started getting emails from their customers saying, hey, look, we can't change your email record to this new email address without filling out this form, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whoa, I'm not trying to do that. And then as they're reading the email, it disappeared. And this happened a couple times, like, what is going on? So they figured out that the bad guy who logged in their account was trying to use their account to fraudulently bill their customers and take contracts and get money that way. And they were deleting emails that are coming through, and the user was just barely able to catch them. And all the usual stuff you see when an email account got breached. So we went in, they changed the password, two-factor authentication, they turned that on. All the usual stuff, went through, cleaned out all the rules, looked for forwarding, looked for rules, looked for POP3, looked for devices that shouldn't be authorized, all that stuff. And the bad guy got back in again. So what had happened in their case, they had two recovery options. They had another email address, and they had their smartphone. And they were getting both email accounts appear to have been breached using the smartphone. So they would use one email account to reset the password for the first one and the two-factor for the first one. That's the problem with recovery. Recovery is kind of a single-factor thing. So we think we have two-factor running, but we really don't. That's the challenge here. And if you have two recovery methods like a phone and an email, you need either one to work. So now you didn't cut your problem in half. You doubled your problem. You doubled the odds that something bad's going to happen. They can compromise either and get in. And this is really a challenge for our security professionals because what do? I mean, if you don't want to not have a recovery option on your accounts. Because how are you going to reset it if you don't have a phone number? Especially if you're using something like social media, like Facebook or Twitter. None of them give a rat's proverbial about you or your individual free account, and they won't answer tech support. There's no phone support for Facebook that I'm aware of, at least that I'm aware of anyway. And for a lot of these free services, that they care about 1 million customers. They don't care about one or two. And if you get compromised, you're on your own. So we've talked about that in other videos. So you really want to have a recovery phone number in order to reset your own password. But then you got to make sure that that phone is protected. Some things that can happen are cloning of SIM cards. And when that happens, the phone itself that you're using will stop working or work intermittently. Like text will not go through or your phone number won't ring and like what's going on. And that's if somebody managed to take your SIM card and forge that SIM card and pretend to be your SIM card, and then they get the traffic. And then because they're getting your texts, when you send a text to reset your password or reset your two-factor authentication, that text goes to the bad guy, they break in that way. Ditto on emails. They can break in another email account address. They can use that email to get two-factor authentication, to get reset codes, all that kind of stuff. Your email account, even the low-end ones that you use just for purpose of backdoors, just for a backup, are extremely sensitive because people use that for all kinds of things. They can have their bank accounts go to their email or their phone. They can have their SaaS applications. They can have anything going there. So you want to be very mindful that you secure your just-in-case email account just as if it was your main email account and then some. So two-factor that as well. The phone is a little more challenging. We said in another video a while back that the Chinese government had managed to break into our national telephone carriers, the major ones, and were able to see text messages. Well, this is one of those kind of problems. I don't think it's China in this particular case. I could be wrong. The IP address was coming out of Romania. That doesn't say anything for sure, but it's best guess is it's someone who got a hold their phone number. Now, one of the things I've noted, the typical person was using AT&T as the carrier, AT&T as a feature, and I don't know much about it. We're still trying to figure it out. This call is still ongoing, by the way, so there may be a part 2 of this video. But it was only after we removed this phone number and put another one in place that we haven't got a further indication of breach. No password changes, no deleting of the two-factor, nothing like that, no suspicious emails coming in through. So now we got rid of that phone number as a recovery. It seems to be locked down. So there's something with that phone number. But I think what's happening is AT&T allows you to connect your texts on your phone to a web access. If you log into your AT&T.net account, go on that website, you can log in and check and send and receive text messages from there, I believe. Now, I'm not entirely sure about this, but that's what I've read places talking about this. I'm still trying to figure out myself. But if they do that, then you can get your text messages. So AT&T was breached several years ago, about 2 years ago. If you have an AT&T account, I mean, how often would you log into that? You just set your update your credit card once every 3 years when it expires, and then your ISP keeps getting paid. Well, your ISP and your phone tend to be all the one same person, right? AT&T was breached. That password's been out there, so that bad guy probably bought this information off the dark web, used it to log into their AT&T, got their text, figured out who they were, figured out what they can use that text for, and reset their email. And then once they got in the email, just start reading, well, what do they do? Oh, okay, well, this is who they do business with. Maybe they can exploit it that way. And they just start working their way through. Hackers are very patient, and they build a profile one step at a time. This is kind of an example of that. We've talked about that in other videos. So I'm going to show you all next where you can set your recovery options in Gmail, because I was just in there, and some of the other things to look out for in terms of what settings to watch when bad guys are in. Just a quick overview. It's not exhaustive, but it should give you some good places to get started. And check that out next. All right, so I logged into my Gmail account here. And I just went up to your settings. There's a little gear button here. And I went to all settings, and you're seeing what we got here. First setting to look at is your filters. Is there a filter blocking what you can see? Is there stuff automatically deleting? This is what you want to do after a recovery. And you want to see if any other account has got access to your mail. Make sure that send as looks good. Under your forwarding, what they'll do a lot of times is even if they can't get into your account, if they set up a forwarding, your emails will get sent off to that address, even if they're locked out. They can still see what you're getting. This is bad. Not only can they read your mail as you get it, but they can send a two-factor request to your email address and then get those in a timely way and be able to hack you. I leave POP3 disabled. We don't want that if we can avoid it. And then see accounts, general, yeah, accounts not a bad idea. Take a look at your Google account settings. And then this is where we can go into your recovery mail and such. So under security, you can see you want to have two-factor authentication set up. This is where you can set that. Change your password so often, blah, blah, blah. And then two-step verification phones. I don't like phones for two-factor authentication. I left it here as an option in case my app get broken. After today's experience, I'm probably going to delete this later. I'm still going to have my recovery phone and my recovery email, but you have to remember that these phone numbers and the emails are now a weak spot. If they break into either of these, they now can also break into your Gmail account. On my phone, I'm very careful not to run any apps I don't absolutely use. I know I'm kind of repeating myself here, but I want to make sure that that phone is well protected and is running as little as possible. And you want to run anti-malware on your phone. And this is why. And my email over here is protected pretty well, too. It's got two-factor authentication on it. I monitor it. I change the password to all the normal security hygiene things on it. Even though it's a lesser-used account, I still take it very seriously because it's a backdoor and everything. Now, on to Google Admin. So admin.google.com. I'm going to go to Apps, Google Workspace, Gmail. Under there, you can see default routing. This is another place that emails can be forwarded. I got nothing here, so that's good. And now we want to go back to our settings here. And scroll to the bottom. And for some reason, Google has that same setting kind of sort of in two places. It's just about the same setting, subtle differences. And I want to make sure that I don't have anything down here being forwarded right here. Email forwarding using recipient map. I got nothing in there. I want to make sure you don't either. This is for sending messages. But check this. This could be something you don't want. This is for my anti-spam, but Yeah, so you can see we use our anti-spam here. But check your outbound gateway. Make sure that has not been rerouted to somewhere. Because otherwise, all of your mail could be going through their email, even if they allow it to work for a while. They could get a copy of your message even after you've kicked them out. So these little leave behinds you got to watch. This is not an exhaustive list. You probably want to contact a security professional. But that's it. That's here. We're back to the rest of the video now. Okay, so walked you through that. Again, I said earlier, this is not exhaustive. If you get breached like this, you really need a security professional to help you dig through all the possibilities. And figuring out how you broke in. Sometimes you don't exactly know how the bad guy broke in, or bad girl, whatever. That sounds naughty. But the bad actor, the threat actor, got in. And sometimes you just got to partition things off. Like in this case, we got rid of the phone number as having access, and we fixed their email. That seems secure now, even while we're still trying to figure out what's going on with their cell phone. It could be malware on the phone. The phone could have been hit with some kind of rootkit, and whereby anything on that phone is compromised. And that's scary because two-factor is often on your phone. And if your two-factor app is there and they have full remote access to your phone, that's a way to get past two-factor. So you got to protect your phone. Be very careful what apps you install on it. Personally, I don't do anything on my phone that I can get away with doing on my computer. I text with it. I take calls with it. I check my calendar with it. That's about it. I do not like apps on my phone. I don't put third-party apps on my phone for this very reason, because if something does get breached and compromised, you're SOL. Furthermore, if you're using your phone for two-factor authentication, you could look at using a YubiKey. We have another video on that. Little card you plug in your computer and get your two-factor authentication codes that way rather than on your phone. So if your phone gets breached, this card is much more secure and not as likely to get breached. You might check that video out too and use that instead of cell phones. Cell phones can be problematic for this reason, because if somebody does get a rootkit on your phone, now your phone is vulnerable and can be used to get into everything you've got. And I have a feeling that might be something that happens more in the future as people start focusing on breaching the phone as the first breach point, based on what I saw today. I hope this doesn't spread too much. It's all something to watch out for. Basically, that's all I got today. I just kind of want to show a quick video from the field, things I've seen, and hopefully that helps you out all. Then we'll see you on the next video.
Thanks for watching. We hope this video has provided valuable information to you. Be sure to share this video with other small business owners to spread the word about the importance of cybersecurity. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. If you want more information about cybersecurity, visit us at www.cybervenger.com.